What's up, my dear friends? This video, I want to talk about the journey I'm currently going through. And fuck, it has been tough on me, to be honest. I've built this freedom outside of the system, or the past years were really about building that freedom, being able to, no longer be a victim to how the world is currently organized and how the world works. And this whole journey of escaping from the matrix, and a big part of that was building financial freedom. And it's not that I've met my ultimate financial goals. However, I've built like a certain comfort, and there's no need for me to work today if I don't want to. So this is actually being a very difficult thing for me, because most people don't even get to this stage in their whole lives. They will always play this kind of survival game of making sure that they can pay the bills at the end of the month and live life around that principle. And so when you've achieved a certain freedom, in a sense that you have a certain financial freedom, and financial freedom can be a number, and that number is just a number, and it's much more important the way you make it or how that number is established, because there's people who have ridiculous amounts of money yet they have no freedom. So something that comes with that is just really having the space and time in order to live life the way you really want it, and to be able to build this life that has depth in all areas of life. And in order to do that, you simply need the space and time to be able to understand what it is that you truly want, what it is that you truly enjoy, and how you want to live your life going through that. And so if we look at it like in certain phases, for me personally, that's the way I did it, was first build this freedom from the system, which had like a very big focus on money, but also on what exactly that it was that I wanted to do. And then from there on, I just created so much space and time in my life that I really just had the opportunity and also the bravery to step into that calling of really listening to what it is that I truly want and who I am, and what the bigger picture is out there for me. And this is the first time in my life that I actually have the freedom to do this, like in a way I haven't been able to do before, because in all these steps achieving true freedom, much of the things that I did and that gave me the most freedom at that certain point and where I was in life back when I made those decisions on how I would proceed with life, those were never grounded in an amount of freedom that I can enjoy today. So there was always some kind of limiting factor, basically money or location or people, or also just my own consciousness, my own awareness, my own skill set, my own experience, my network, etc. So there was always this thing that kind of limited how I could go forward, the choices I could make surrounding that, compared to where I am today. And I don't want to use this term of ultimate freedom because it sounds so salesy or so marketing in. And it's not that I have achieved ultimate freedom, because what is ultimate freedom? I don't have like a full answer to that question, to be honest. It's something that I'm now really learning about much more, that once you achieve this freedom inside of the system, or you can put yourself outside of that system, then you just start looking at things from a different perspective, and you start looking at things much more wisely and deeply. And so this whole past months basically was about trying to figure out what's next, and coming up with certain ideas, coming up with certain projects, and then in trying to build those projects, or in trying to give those projects life, what I discovered was that I was trying to make these things come alive by using the same strategies and tactics that I used to use to make my projects come alive. And again, much of that was based in fear, and it was always a fear that was then coupled with a certain opportunity I saw. And so I wanted to like jump on that opportunity, but it was never really thought through the way it should have been. Not that I blame myself for that, not in any way, because it was just learning how to go forward. But because much of the things that I decided to do were based in fear or in limiting beliefs or in a scarcity mindset or in not having a certain freedom yet, they were always like rushing it in some way. They were like never really fully thought through. Being able to do this in the right way going forward, I feel like I just need more time to really think about, okay, and this is the craziest thing because I can literally do anything I want. I can going forward and making my time worthwhile and creating a new business or serving humanity or creating something. I am a very firm believer that I should put most of my focus on just one thing or one idea or one project, one concept. But then what is that project going to be like? Or what is it going to be? I know I can do anything I want right now. So what is it that I'm going to create? And so this is such a difficult question to answer at the moment. And I feel like one thing that's for sure for me is that I want to go forward in a way that my heart leads the way. And instead of doing things from the mind, from the rational way of trying to answer that question, like, okay, what can I do and what steps do I need to take, in which order? How can I really like tune into my heart and try to find an answer to that question and surrender to something bigger, trying to surrender to something that is showing me what it is that I need to do or just need to become or just allow to enter my life. Because I truly believe that there is a higher, much higher intelligence which I'm just a part of and which I also am that intelligence. But I feel that I'm still on this growing journey towards really aligning with that higher intelligence and really allowing it to serve me so I can serve it and I can serve humanity. And so there's like this kind of battle going on inside of me between my logical part and my heart. And money plays money plays such an important role in this. And I've been having such amazing discussions around money and discussions around the role in money in this shift that I'm seeing. And I believe I'm seeing this shift from people operating from the mind, from the rational, evolving into really operating from the heart. And I think this is a major, impactful process or shift that is happening in the business world, where we'll see more and more entrepreneurs that are really coming to terms with, hey, I've been doing things from this place that I've also been doing things from, this limiting belief, this fear, this idea that we should always try to chase money or some stupid external goals, some stupid targets more. And I think more and more entrepreneurs will start to discover that once this materialistic success is achieved, then it will become very apparent, very clearly, that the answers do not lie in this materialistic success or in the KPIs or in the things we have been chasing that we thought were worth chasing. And so we will see the shift that more and more entrepreneurs will start to truly serve from their heart and really tune in with this higher frequency, this higher thing, this source. And the most interesting thing in that whole process, in that whole thing that is unfolding right now, is that basically a lot of that is tuning in into the feminine, because the feminine is basically the oracle. The feminine is the knowing. The feminine holds all that wisdom. It's like a super unimaginably deep well of wisdom. And so all the answers lie there. And The feminine exists in each of us, but of course it's more outspoken, at least how humanity is right now, I think, in women. And so when we look at how the world works, it's this very battle driven, hustle driven, grinding driven way of doing things. Do, be productive, achieve performance, more targets, etc., etc. While the other thing is trusting in something bigger and just allowing it to unfold and allow that to become a part of who you are and become a part of what you do, and thus also become a part of your business. And thus what I think we'll be seeing is that, and I don't think it's something in the future, I think it's already happening, because if I look at the coaching world, for example, business coaching world, for example, it is so clear, if you pay attention, that the women in this space, the female business coaching, are at the edge of this progressive shift. They are at the cutting edge of the coaching space. And why is that? Because, well, they are women for whom it's just so much easier to embody this feminine divine energy, this feminine well of wisdom, this feminine knowing, this feminine oracle. There's so much, it's so much easier for them to embody that, because they don't have that ego and that rational way of doing things, that prowess, that bravery in battle that drives us men. They don't have so much problems with that, keeping them from actually stepping into that bigger thing, from stepping into that unknown. And I think that is actually what is making it so difficult for myself at the moment, which is giving me like a lot of issues. It's really not easy going forward for me and finding that answer on the question what's next. I really have to tune in to my heart, and in order to be able to do that, for somebody who I think I've always been already quite heart driven and led my way, making decisions from a place of my heart, yet it's definitely not where I believe it should be. It's definitely not where I have been, or where I am developed the most. And I really am discovering that right now, that for me going forward, I will really need to develop that muscle here, that heart muscle, and make decisions from that place. And yeah, as I said, I'm having trouble with it, because my ego is so in the way, my mind is so in the way of always wanting to like try to find an answer to something, trying to find out how do I do that. It's the same when you're talking to your wife or to your girlfriend, or she just wants you to listen, to ask some questions and to listen. While you as a man, if she shares her problems with you, you think, oh, I have to find a solution for that. I have to give her some advice, which is not true, but it's a perfect example for how we men work and how women work. And what we need to do is just listen, not necessarily just to our wives, which I believe is actually a very good idea, to start listening more to them and start to understand them for what they really are, this expression of this divine knowing. They're so intuitive, they're so in touch with that sense. And I believe that we as men should follow more actually, and start allowing more space for the feminine to lead, not only in the world but just also inside of ourselves. And I truly believe that's actually where a lot of the answers lie for a better future for humanity. So yeah, I find it super interesting, and the more I talk to men about this topic, the more I see men starting to understand this as well, that it's time for humanity to free the way, to step back from that very male way of doing things, and allowing the room for the feminine to lead us, to lead us the way, to lead us into a better future. So I will definitely keep you guys updated and posted on this process, but I'm just so curious to hear what you guys think about it, because this is not something that I can fix on my own. I really just want to like expand my network with not only men, but of course also women, but like especially men, because I think they're so thinly, there must be a lot of men going through this out there, but I don't have many of them in my surroundings or in my network, to be honest. I have a few which are actually the ones that help me see this, together with my wife, together with how I see her doing things as a business coach, as a business mentor, and just understanding like, whoa, this is something I'm just not capable of doing. I'm just not developed in doing in the way that she's doing this. So yeah, I'm super excited to start a discussion on this, but also just to connect with people, men or women, who feel this and who just wanna, you know, start doing with something with this as well. Because I think that is for me something that is clearly, the universe is clearly telling me like, hey, look in that direction. This is something you have to pay attention to, and this is maybe something that you really have to go and do something with. But I'm still like, and that's when the rational pops in, like boom, all these ideas immediately, ideas, strategies, tactics, business plans. I have it all like figured out in my head like in a few minutes. But I want to choose wisely. I want to choose from a deep place. So that's what I wanted to share in this video. I hope this can help you as well. And as I said, I'd love to talk to you if you are doing something with this subject as well. Would love to have a discussion in the comments. And see you soon in the next video. Ciao.